So, speaking of the Seahawks, we're going to get into some weekly previews, some games that we're going to be previewing this week. The Seahawks are going on the road to Arizona, and Arizona is actually the favorite,
hmm
surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly, they got D Hop back. They showed last week that they're kind of getting a little bit back on track. But they're the favorite by -2.5. So yeah, I mean, how do you see this game really going?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I've been waiting for the Cardinals to break through a little bit. I mean, they've had some good games, they've had some comeback wins. They've also dropped a couple games that were a bit disappointing for a team that showed last year so much potential, especially to start out on the first half of the year. They really picked up a bunch of wins. Last year their story, they were similar to what the Eagles are right now,
Yeah,
right? So they showed that last year, and then this year's kind of a huge drop off, kind of more of what was going on in the end of the year. They finally get Hopkins back. We know that's huge for that offense and that team. Um, this is a game that the Cardinals could sneakily win. This is a home game for them. We know with Kyler Murray, in a way, it's not that you're never out of the game, but he does have that ability to really bring your team back if he's on.
right.
We've seen already in a short sample size how much he will get the ball to Hopkins and how they can find a way to, get the ball out to him for him to make plays. And it's been effective. Even if they haven't won all their games, it's been working. I think their offense as a whole has been playing much better since he's been back. And, at home, you get a Seahawks team that's hot, right? But it's still a division rival. We know
Yeah.
how these divisional games go. And, this is a game where, yeah, I would not be surprised for the Cardinals to win this game. I wouldn't have, if I set the spread, I probably wouldn't have it as 2.5. I
Hmm.
would figure a neutral field's probably -3 for the Seahawks. So home field advantage for the Seahawks. For the Cardinals, I'd probably have this as a pick 'em. But yeah, I think there's a decent chance that the Cardinals could come out with a win here. But I like 50-50 odds in my book for this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I think Kenneth Walker is gonna run all over the Cardinals. And Gino might have a. I think Gino struggles a little bit, but I think the Seahawks will get it done. So, we could go on to the next game, another divisional game, which would be kind of nice to see, or not divisional, but another kind of like rival game. We saw the matchup in the playoffs. We got the Rams versus the Bucks. The Bucks are the -3 favorite. Both teams kind of struggling now, so it would be nice to see these teams go at it, kind of pick up their offense, kind of pick up their team in general. With the Rams, we've seen a lot of like just struggling offensively with the passing game. Even the running game, we don't really know what the status is with Cam Akers. We kind of seen even in the opener, like they didn't utilize him at all. Um, and it's kind of surprising with the trade deadline that they didn't make too many moves,
Mm-hmm.
considering the fact that the Rams they really just they've shown in the past that they don't really care about picks and things like that. But again, they're versing the Bucks. The Bucks are a -3 favorite. I think the Rams get it done on the road, and I think the Bucks still struggle. I don't think the Bucks are. I don't think they have that spark that they had last year.
Yeah, I'd go the other way with this one. I think, the Rams have been struggling, the Bucks have been struggling. I don't know how much longer the Bucks can keep struggling the way they are. I mean, we talked about it before. It's like, what is the problem? They have the weapons.
Right.
They just have to kind of get on the same page. This Rams team, they come in here. Cup is banged up. He's questionable with his ankle. He got kind of knocked out of the last game there, and if they don't have Cooper Cup, good luck. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, that's their heartbeat.
so and now you're telling me, okay, he's questionable. Okay, so is he going to come in the game and going to be the same story that we see a lot of guys that come in questionable that are, pass catchers? We see, Mark Andrews for the Ravens questionable. You could have predicted he's probably getting knocked out of the game. So even if he plays, is Kupp just going to get knocked out of the game anyways, especially with the volume of passes that they throw his way? At some point, it's probably going to get
Something's
aggravated, right?
there.
So, and yeah, I think the Bucks. I didn't like the Bucks last week against the Ravens. I think the Ravens really needed that win. I think they're a better team at this point. Not that the Bucks can't be a better team, but at this point, they had a lot more going for them. They've been playing better. They've been stringing things along. Even their losses have usually been not fluke losses, but
Kind of unprecedented losses
yeah.
that they
So
really shouldn't have.
right, and so with a Bucks team that they lost to the Ravens last week, but they played it at a close game. The Rams in this situation are probably the more up and down team to me. The Bucks have them at home. We saw that it was a record amount of losses for Brady back to back losses like this. I think that streak ends here with the Rams, and I think Brady finds a way to push his team to victory. I mean, look, this could be a game where they click and they just blow the Rams out.
Yeah.
But I think even if this is a sloppy game, I think the Bucks can maybe find a way to dig out a win here at home. But this is a funny game, right? If it's a close game, this might be a game where that 3.5, that 3 point spread isn't even enough, and
Yeah.
they might win by a point or two. This is that type of game with the way these teams have been playing. So
Right.
yeah,
So we'll see what the end result of that game is. Leading on to our next game that we're reviewing is the Titans versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are minus 10.5 favorite. I think the reason of that is we still don't know the status of Ryan Tannehill. He's still questionable. There's been reports that he still has a lot of pain. Malik Willis, we don't really know how great he is, how much he can kind of put this team ahead. And nonetheless, to go against the Chiefs, that's a really hard matchup to go into Arrowhead. And then on top of that, you're just, we outside of Derrick Henry, there's no definitive kind of receiver there.
yeah. And look, you talked about Tannehill. He's questionable coming into this game. Derrick Henry is also questionable in this game.
Right,
As
yeah, so-
as of right now, it's still midweek, but he's questionable right now going into this game. Against a Chiefs team that's been absolutely rolling. Actually looking at it now, we said 10.5 point spreads. It looks like this might have ballooned up to minus 12, probably because of both of those injuries. Because good luck, right? Now you're talking second string running back and quarterback in against a Chiefs team that can put up offense in a hurry. They've been able to play good defensively. This might be a game like the Titans played against the Bills earlier this year that made you think, oh, the Chiefs are maybe done for. They're not going to do anything. Since
Right.
then, that was what the second game of the year. The Titans lost the first one to the Giants, and then after that, those two games, the Titans have been able to bounce back and pick up a bunch of wins. They were best bets for us last week against, I don't remember who, but I remember picking the Titans to win that game as a best bet. Just with their overall body of work so far.
Right.
This is a game. Yeah, I mean, even if they had Tannehill and Derrick Henry,
It's still a tough game.
it's
to
still a
win.
tough game. It's at Kansas City. We know it's tough to play in Arrowhead. I think the Chiefs win this one. Now, when you tell me 12
12 and a
point
half.
spread now, 12 point spread. So that's a little bit tougher, but I still think it's very
I think it's
doable for the
possible,
Chiefs. And if I had to lean one way or the other on the point spread, I'll throw my money on the Chiefs here. They might win this game by 20 plus
Right.
points or something like that. Especially like we talked about, these injuries happen. They won't really have much of a shot.
Yeah, and then plus the addition of Kadarius Toney, who knows, they may have some installments for him. Andy Reid may get him involved in some trick plays. We all know how Andy Reid is. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the Chiefs will take care of business. Minus 12.5 is a lot, but again, the Chiefs have that firepower offense. So we'll see what happens, and I'm sure the Titans they'll fight, but again, it's if you're not putting up points, then it's there's very slim and little chance that you're going to be able to match up well with the Chiefs.